growing up, when it comes to watching content, was there like, did you have the big Sunday night sit round for every episode with the family kind of thing? Did that happen or not?
We really didn't. I have never actually watched Top Gear. I've never watched... Yeah, I've seen a couple of specials.
Same with the Grand Tour?
I've seen all of the Grand Tour. I've seen the Grand Tour. But
and what do you think the difference is, the both, when they're posted? Timeline of years?
What do you mean? Is it
like you'd have been younger when Top Gear was on?
Yeah, I think so. And honestly, like I know it's not directed at boys, and it is technically a family show, and it had the 8 p.m. slot on a Sunday, so it had to be family. But I do think it was very much more a boy thing, and I think that's probably more reflective of the car world in general, and that it's only now, I guess, increasingly becoming more open to girls. But I think, yeah, all my boy mates would always watch Top Gear, but my girl mates wouldn't. And if we're in public, the people coming up to Rich, it's boys.
Would you have to say to your boy mates, would they ask when you were growing up, what's the next special? Where did they go? What was that like? How would you answer that? Would you be like, I just don't know. Like, all I know is the call started with this.
Yeah, I think I'd sort of just play it off, I guess. It was, a lot of the times it would be, where are they going on the next special? And most of the time I didn't know. But if I did know, sometimes, yeah, I'll share some secrets. Why not?
Yeah, you're not contracted for anything, is it?
Yeah, I know the stick.
Did you know the gang growing up? Did you like have that experience around them? Where would you see them? Like, was there like a Christmas party? Or I get the sense they wouldn't all go to it together.
Yeah, I knew Ben growing up a bit, but I didn't know that he used to stick. So I think this is true, and he's going to have to tell me if it's not, but I think he had one of our kittens. So we had a cat that had a load of kittens, and I think he had one of the kittens. So he like came to the house and picked it up and whatever, and I just knew him as Ben, but I had no idea that he used to stick. But I do remember going to the track when they were filming, and like I'm going to call it their green room, but it was just it's like a dodgy, just sort of shed.
I've seen the buildings.
Yeah.
They are literally falling to pieces.
Yeah. And they always were. And the Stig had a little room, and I always remember this little room, and it was just terrifying. It was probably smaller than this van, and it was just completely blacked out, and there were bars on the window, so no one, because obviously they had a live audience, so they wanted to make sure no one could see in. And yeah, he always had to wear his helmet constantly, and yeah, I remember that. But I've known Jeremy and James my whole life.
Do you like them?
I do, yeah. And Jeremy has 3 kids, and so when we were all younger, we used to see the kids all the time. And yeah, like I said, I've known them for a very long time, so they've always been sort of weirdly a part of my life, I guess.
And you seem to have that relationship with James from videos that I've seen, that you don't mind giving him a prod in the side either.
Oh my gosh, always, yeah. James to me is almost like one of my uncles, I guess.
Uncle James,
Uncle James.
What do you watch the content that he's kind of doing? Because it's quite funny in the sense that everyone's just been sucked into the world of YouTube, where he's now got his Planet of Gin channel, and I think it's Lucy that helps him out running that, who is maybe X-Drive Tribe, am I right in saying? So it's all kind of come from that family and all doing it. What content do you actually watch? What is it that you turn on the TV and put on?
God, that's horrible. I actually am not, this is really bad. I'm really not a big TV watcher. I'm a proper like comfort show person. Do you know what I mean? So I'll just get on Netflix and I'll just reruns of Friends. Let me watch that for the 17th time. Yeah, I'm not a big watcher. I like to be busy. I like to be really busy, and I'm kind of go insane if I'm not busy.
Why do you think you never watched that show growing up? Was it because you heard about each one before it actually went out?
With the Top Gear ones, I just think it was just not something that would interest me. I know that sounds really bad, but I do think it was much more steered towards boys. And I didn't play with little Hot Wheels when I was younger. I didn't go-karting for my birthday. So cars just weren't for me.
Would you ever watch any of the other stuff though? Because as I say, when you've only got like an hour where you're trying to talk to someone about everything and you love cars, you just want to get all the car questions out constantly. But I remember one of my favourite videos I've ever seen of your dad was actually on a shipping container, and he was on this giant boat and he was talking about the world of shipping. Okay. Would any of that stuff, would you ever watch those kind of documentaries?
Yeah, actually, that's the stuff we would sit down and watch together, because those tend to be the things that he was really proud of and really like put a lot, not that he wasn't proud of Top Gear, please don't get me wrong, but that thing was going on for years. And that was just kind of, yeah, every day, I guess. Whereas some of like engineering connections and all of that kind of stuff, he put a lot into and was really proud of them and wanted us to see them. And so then, yeah, of course, we would sit down and watch it all together. So those I watched, and like Brainiac, like I said, he loved Brainiac.